My sister sabotaged my wedding dress and announced a fake pregnancy at my son's birthday party. But what I uncovered next shattered our family's foundation forever. I'm 35, the youngest of 3 sisters, and this is the tale of how decades of simmering resentment finally erupted into chaos at my son's first birthday celebration. Before diving into the recent catastrophic events, let me unravel the twisted web of our family's history. My oldest sister Lisa, 40F, and I have had a relationship that could only be described as psychological warfare since our childhood in the manicured suburbs of Pennsylvania. While she maintained a seemingly perfect bond with our middle sister Rachel, 38F, Lisa treated me more like her personal punching bag than a sibling. The first memory that haunts me to this day was my 5th birthday party. Lisa, accidentally, shoved me face first into my birthday cake in front of all my friends, destroying not just my special day, but also my cherished pink princess dress. I can still taste the bitter frosting mixed with tears. Rachel, ever the peacemaker, whisked me away and helped clean me up, establishing a pattern that would define our sisterly dynamic for decades to come. Our parents, blind to the underlying cruelty, dismissed it as typical sibling rivalry. As we entered our teenage years, Lisa's torment evolved into something more sophisticated and sinister. She orchestrated my social humiliation with surgical precision, spreading vicious rumors and calling me degrading names that cut deeper than any physical wound. When I was 13 and experiencing my first crush, Lisa orchestrated her most devastating attack yet. She systematically destroyed my social life by convincing the boy I liked that I still wet the bed, a completely fabricated lie that followed me through the halls like a shadow. Rachel tried to intervene, but our parents remained steadfast in their misguided belief that sisters should work out their differences without parental interference. My adolescent years brought new dimensions to Lisa's psychological warfare. While I found solace in expressing myself through alternative music and darker fashion choices, Lisa weaponized my self-discovery. She'd stalk the school hallways, barking like a rabid dog whenever I passed by, dubbing me Cruella with a venom that made even teachers uncomfortable. Rachel, my unwavering ally, helped me experiment with different looks and reminded me that being different wasn't a flaw but a strength. There were moments of genuine terror, like when Lisa would materialize from the shadows near stairwells, leaving me in a constant state of fight or flight. While she basked in the spotlight as the quintessential golden child, head cheerleader dating the quarterback, I found my sanctuary in the digital realm. By senior year, I had discovered my true calling in computer science, channeling my isolation into learning code and building websites. This divergence in our paths seemed to fuel Lisa's hostility to new heights. After graduating with honors from Penn State, I landed a position at a prestigious Philadelphia consulting firm, while Lisa followed the path our parents had scripted, marrying her high school sweetheart Greg, 41M, moments after college, and settling into a picture-perfect suburban existence that masked her growing resentment. My 20s became a paradox of professional triumph and personal turmoil. As I soared through the ranks, earning promotions and building a reputation that had me jet-setting across the country for high-profile projects, Lisa's criticism became more caustic. At family gatherings, she'd launch calculated attacks about my selfish career choices and abandonment of family values. Rachel, now a dedicated high school teacher, became my shield, defending my choices while Lisa attempted to paint my success as a betrayal of our family's traditional values. The tension reached its boiling point at my 25th birthday dinner. Just as I was about to blow out my candles, my moment of celebration transformed into Lisa's stage. She announced her first pregnancy with theatrical timing that would make Shakespeare proud, instantly transforming my birthday dinner into an impromptu baby shower planning session. Only Rachel noticed as I silently slipped away from the table, following me to the bathroom where I finally let my carefully constructed walls crumble. "She's jealous because you're successful on your own terms," Rachel whispered, holding me as I fought back tears that had been years in the making. "Your success threatens everything she's built her identity around." In the years that followed, I maintained minimal contact with Lisa, pouring myself into building my career. At 30, having ascended to senior consultant, fate introduced me to James, 37M, at a tech conference in Boston. While he delivered a brilliant presentation on cybersecurity, I found myself captivated not just by his technical expertise, but by the way his eyes lit up when discussing vintage rock music, a passion we discovered we shared over coffee that turned into dinner. Unlike previous relationships where my ambition had been viewed as a liability, James celebrated my success. He understood the late-night coding sessions, supported my career goals, and showed genuine interest in my projects. After a year of dating that felt like a breath of fresh air in my otherwise tumultuous family life, James proposed during a sunset walk on Cape Cod Beach. For the first time in years, I felt an overwhelming desire to share my joy with my entire family. Rachel's excitement was instantaneous and pure. She immediately volunteered to help with wedding preparations, her eyes already brimming with ideas. My parents expressed genuine happiness, though my mother couldn't resist questioning if I was certain about settling down at this stage of my career. But it was Lisa's unexpectedly positive response that should have set off warning bells in my mind. I spent months meticulously planning every detail of my dream wedding, determined to have one perfect day untainted by family drama. The centerpiece of my vision was the dress, a sophisticated A-line gown with vintage-inspired details and intricate beading that seemed to tell its own story. While the $800 price tag wasn't extravagant by wedding dress standards, it represented years of self-reliance and professional success. Each carefully chosen bead felt like a testament to every obstacle I'd overcome. The dress incident occurred 3 months before the wedding. Our skilled seamstress, Aunt Mary, had offered to handle the alterations with her expert touch. One afternoon, Lisa arrived at Aunt Mary's house unannounced, bringing her 2 massive dogs, creatures she knew had a history of destructive behavior. While Aunt Mary prepared tea in the kitchen, Lisa deliberately left the sewing room door open, knowing full well what would unfold. The devastation I discovered after numerous unanswered calls still haunts my nightmares. The exquisite lace lay in tatters, the bodice ripped apart as if by savage beasts, and delicate beads scattered across the floor like tears. I found Aunt Mary sobbing, initially trying to shoulder the blame herself. But as I gently pressed for details, the truth emerged like a poison slowly seeping to the surface. Lisa had orchestrated every moment of the destruction, timing it with the precision of a seasoned predator. I called an emergency family meeting at our parents' house, ostensibly to discuss wedding plans. When Lisa waltzed in, her face wearing that familiar mask of innocence, Rachel immediately sensed the storm brewing. As I laid out the evidence of her premeditated attack, Lisa's carefully crafted facade began to crack. Her true colors erupted in a volcanic display of spite and jealousy. "You've always had it easy," she spat, her voice dripping with decades of venom. "You didn't deserve such an expensive dress when I had to settle for off the rack at my own wedding." The truth finally surfaced like a corpse floating to the top of a dark lake. Lisa admitted to orchestrating the dress's destruction, claiming financial hardship despite her husband's successful career when asked to fully reimburse the $800 cost. She offered a mere $500, as if putting a price tag on years of systematic cruelty. Our parents sat in stunned silence, finally witnessing the monster they'd enabled for decades. My father, guilt-heavy with years of turning a blind eye, stepped forward to help fund a replacement dress. I immediately rescinded Lisa's invitation to the wedding, a decision that felt like excising a long-festering wound. The wedding day itself was beautiful, with Rachel standing proudly as my maid of honor. I barely registered Lisa's generic congratulations card, focusing instead on the joy of starting a new life with James, free from toxic family dynamics. For the next few years, I maintained a careful distance from Lisa as James and I built our life together. My career continued to flourish, eventually leading to a partnership in my consulting firm. We bought a suburban home, and at 34, we decided to expand our family. Motherhood transformed me in ways I never expected. Perhaps it was the hormones, or maybe the new perspective that comes with creating life. But I found myself considering reconciliation when our mother suggested it. "You're both mothers now," she'd say, as if sharing that title could erase decades of abuse. Family should stick together. When Lisa reached out after my son's birth, her remorse seemed genuine for the first time in our lives. During our first meaningful conversation in years, she broke down, revealing she'd been working through her issues in therapy. She spoke of her own insecurities, how my success had triggered deep-seated feelings of inadequacy, and how becoming a mother had helped her recognize the destructive nature of her behavior. She promised to be a better sister and aunt moving forward. Over the following months, Lisa appeared to keep her word. She offered to babysit, sent thoughtful gifts for the baby, and even defended my decision to return to work part-time against critical family members. Though skeptical, Rachel supported my choice to give Lisa another chance. Even James, who never fully forgot the wedding dress incident, began to adjust to the new family dynamic. Everything seemed to be healing. Lisa developed what appeared to be a special bond with my son, genuinely celebrated my achievements, and attended family functions without creating drama. I started to believe that people could change, that therapy had actually helped Lisa overcome her jealousy issues. This brings us to my son's first birthday celebration last week. We had planned an intimate but meaningful party with close family and friends. When Lisa arrived early to help with decorations, I remember feeling grateful for how far we'd come. The party was going perfectly. My son was reveling in the attention, everyone was enjoying themselves, and the decorations were stunning. Then came the cake moment. Just as James and I were preparing to help our son with his first birthday cake, Lisa suddenly approached the DJ we'd hired for background music. My stomach dropped as she reached for the microphone, memories of my 25th birthday flooding back. Surely she wouldn't. Not at her nephew's first birthday celebration. Not again. What unfolded next set in motion a chain of events that would expose decades of deception and ultimately tear our family's facade wide open. Lisa seized the microphone and, with practiced theatricality, announced her third pregnancy. But this time, her performance would be her last. In the chaos that followed, Rachel approached me with information that would change everything. As our father's financial controller, Lisa had been embezzling money from our family business for years. My IT expertise in financial systems suddenly became a weapon of truth. Working quietly, I began dissecting the company's records, and what I uncovered was staggering. Lisa had been manipulating the books with surgical precision, siphoning small amounts that accumulated to over $200,000 over the years. The discovery explained how she maintained her lavish lifestyle while claiming financial hardship and only partially reimbursing me for my wedding dress. The threads of her deception were finally unraveling. Last week, I walked into my father's office with an arsenal of evidence. Despite his visible devastation, he acted swiftly. He called an emergency meeting of our extended family, including all shareholders in the company. Lisa strutted in with her usual air of superiority, likely anticipating another opportunity to play victim over the birthday party incident. Instead, my father projected the financial documents I had uncovered onto the conference room screen. As he methodically walked through each fraudulent transaction, I watched the color drain from Lisa's face. When she attempted to dismiss it as accounting errors, I stepped forward with my expert analysis, demonstrating clear patterns of intentional manipulation. But I wasn't finished. Rachel and I had compiled a comprehensive dossier of Lisa's years of deception, from the wedding dress incident, complete with a signed confession from Aunt Mary, to evidence of her spreading malicious lies about me to clients and relatives. We even had security camera footage of her rehearsing her pregnancy announcement before my son's birthday party. The final nail in Lisa's coffin came from an unexpected source. Greg, her husband, pushed to his breaking point by the evidence of financial fraud, revealed that Lisa had been faking pregnancies to coincide with other significant events. She wasn't even pregnant when she made her announcement at my son's party. She had planned to stage a miscarriage later for maximum sympathy. As the meeting drew to a close, our father made two momentous announcements. First, the company would be pressing charges against Lisa for financial fraud. Second, instead of appointing Lisa as his presumed successor as CEO, he had chosen me, with my technical expertise and proven integrity, to lead the family business into the future. Lisa's carefully constructed world imploded spectacularly. Our extended family, finally seeing her true nature, cut ties completely. The next day, Greg filed for divorce. As security escorted Lisa from the office, not even our mother, her longtime enabler, spoke up in her defense. The aftermath has been swift and decisive. Lisa has been placed on administrative leave while a thorough investigation works to recover the stolen funds. Our family's legal team is preparing both criminal and civil suits. The shareholders, recognizing how my technical expertise could modernize the business, unanimously endorsed my appointment as future CEO. Rachel has been given leadership of our family's charitable foundation, a role Lisa had always coveted. Together, we're working to repair the damage she inflicted on both our family's business and relationships. For my part, I feel an odd mixture of vindication and grief. While I never wanted things to end this way, I'm relieved the truth is finally out. James is proud of how I handled the situation professionally, and my father has expressed deep remorse for years of enabling Lisa's behavior. Sometimes justice arrives in unexpected packages. I didn't just stand up for myself. I exposed the truth and protected our family's legacy. Now that Lisa's web of manipulation has finally unraveled, our family can begin to heal. 4 months have passed since my last update, and this twisted family saga has reached its final chapter. Justice has been served in ways I never imagined possible. Last Monday, Lisa was sentenced to 8 years in prison for financial malfeasance, fraud, and embezzlement. The judge was particularly severe after learning she had stolen from children's charitable foundations. During the trial, evidence emerged of similar patterns at her previous jobs, revealing a calculated history of systematic deception that stretched back further than any of us had realized. Beyond the prison sentence, she faces substantial fines and full restitution requirements. Greg, pushed to his breaking point by the revelations, ensured everyone knew about Lisa's habit of faking pregnancies for manipulation. Their divorce is now final, and his teenage children, freed from their mother's toxic influence, are building healthy relationships with their aunts. It's heartwarming to see them flourish without the weight of their mother's manipulation. The most remarkable transformation has been our mother. After months of intensive therapy, she's emerged as a different person entirely. During a recent family gathering, she offered a heartfelt apology for enabling Lisa's behavior for so long, her voice breaking as she acknowledged the pain her complicity had caused. She now works closely with Rachel at our family foundation, focusing on programs that support victims of emotional abuse. Watching her channel her guilt into positive action has been incredibly healing for all of us. Our business has flourished under the new leadership structure. Dad and I have implemented modern financial security protocols, and last month we secured a major government contract that Lisa had previously sabotaged through her network of manipulation. The workplace atmosphere has transformed dramatically. Where once there was fear and suspicion, now there's collaboration and trust. Previously suppressed employees are now thriving in their roles, bringing forward innovative ideas that are propelling our company into the future. Last weekend marked our first extended family gathering without Lisa's shadow looming over us. The difference was palpable. Genuine conversations flowed freely, laughter echoed through the house, and a sense of peace that had been missing for decades settled over us. The underlying tension that had become so normal we barely noticed it anymore had vanished completely. Several family members shared their own stories of Lisa's past manipulations, leading to mutual understanding and healing. It felt like we were finally breathing freely after years of holding our breath. A particularly validating discovery was finding Lisa's old diary in her former office. It contained detailed plans to destroy my reputation and seize control of the family business, dating back to our teenage years. Reading it with my therapist helped me realize that her hatred wasn't really about me. It was about her own deeply rooted insecurities and desperate need for control. Understanding this has been crucial to my own healing process. Rachel and I have initiated a mentorship program within our organization to help young women in family businesses identify and prevent workplace deception. We're committed to transforming our negative experience into something positive for others. The program has already attracted attention from other family-owned businesses dealing with similar issues. At her sentencing, Lisa made one final attempt at manipulation, a letter claiming she was the victim of a family conspiracy. The judge's response was perfect. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of deliberate deception spanning decades. Even now, your attempt to play the victim demonstrates why this sentence is necessary to protect society from further harm. Watching Lisa being led away in handcuffs, I felt no joy, only relief that her ability to hurt others had finally been curtailed. James and I are dedicated to creating a healthier environment for our son. We've established a community education trust with the recovered embezzled funds, turning Lisa's greed into something that will benefit others. The trust will focus on teaching young people about financial ethics and the importance of integrity in business. I've realized that the event that triggered these revelations, my son's first birthday party, was actually a blessing in disguise. Sometimes it takes a spectacular incident to bring buried truths to light. While the path to exposing Lisa's deception was painful, it was necessary for our family's healing. While I never intended for our family to become a cautionary tale, I'm grateful we confronted the abuse and created positive change. The bonds of fear and manipulation have been severed, and our family's legacy will be one of strength and honesty rather than deceit and control. We're writing a new chapter in our family's history, one based on transparency, support, and genuine love. Living well isn't just about revenge. It's about breaking destructive patterns and building something better for future generations. I want to thank the Reddit community for their support throughout this journey. Your messages and comments kept me going during my darkest moments. While the path to justice can sometimes take unexpected turns, positive change is possible with truth and determination. As I write this final update, I'm sitting in my office at our family company, looking out over the city. On my desk is a photo of my son, smiling broadly at his second birthday party, a celebration untainted by drama or manipulation. Beside it is a picture of Rachel, Mom, and me at the foundation's latest charity event, our genuine smiles reflecting the healing that's taken place. These images remind me daily that while we can't choose our family, we can choose how we respond to toxic behavior and what legacy we leave for the next generation. Thank you for following this journey with me. While this chapter of our family's story has closed, the lessons we've learned will guide us forward into a brighter, healthier future. End of story.